So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Eddy Chan, Executive Vice Chairman of the Hong Kong Electronic Industries Associations, to come on stage to moderate this session for us. Let's welcome Eddy. And for our panelists, let's welcome Engineer Jonathan C.K. Wong, Director of Paul Y E&M Contractors. Let's welcome Jonathan. And next, let's welcome Mr. Ryan Zhe, Director of Vita Green. Let's welcome Ryan. And next, let's welcome Mr. Peter Brewin, Crypto and Web3 Co-Leader at PwC Hong Kong. Welcome, Peter. And last but not least, let's welcome Ms. Alexandra Wrobel, Head of Cyber Commercial Insurance Asia at Zurich Insurance Group. Alexandra, please. And now, without any further ado, I'll pass the stage to Eddy. Over to you, Eddy.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and our esteemed panelists, Jonathan, Ryan, Peter, and Alex. Welcome to the panel discussion 3 to talk about the new drivers to the smart economy. So over this panel discussion, we'll start a journey of exploration where we'll uncover the secrets behind these successful business transformation for the smart economy. And we will discover the strategies employed by the leaders seated here who have embraced change, adapted to new technologies and ideas, and also leverage big data to gain competitive edge in their respective industry. And they will share their ideas, insights, and lessons learned today with us, and providing valuable inspirations and guidance on our own transformative journeys. So we have 4 speakers at this panel, and we'll now invite them to use 1 minute to introduce themselves. So may we start with Jonathan, please.
Hi, I'm the director of Paul Y E&M Contractors Limited, which is a service provider for electrical installation, air conditioning, fire services, pumping and drainage installations. Over the decade, we have driven our company to adopt BIM use in various construction projects along the project cycle, from planning stage to installation, testing, and commissioning stage in a wide range of applications, whereby we have received a number of awards from different recognized institutions in the recent years. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So maybe to our next panelist, Ryan.
Sure, thank you. So I'm Ryan, and I'm the director of Vita Green. Vita Green is a Hong Kong local Chinese medicine company. We're a vertically integrated pharmaceutical grade company. So meaning we source and also grow our Chinese herbs in China, and then we process them in China. We're probably one of the very few manufacturers in China, so in Hong Kong. So we manufacture all of our products in Hong Kong. So we have a factory in Taipo, the Inno Center, and after which we market it. So we do our sales and marketing ourselves, and ultimately we do retailing and also e-com. And all of it is basically based in Hong Kong. And our markets are basically in Asia and parts of Europe as well as in the US. And that's basically a snapshot of Vita Green.
Thank you, Ryan. So maybe we'll move on to Peter.
Great, thank you very much. So I'm Peter Brewin. I lead PwC's crypto and Web3 practice. And we often kind of get asked, well, many people say, well, what is it that PwC does with cryptocurrencies and with Web3? And it really sort of stems back from, if you look at a lot of these sort of innovations involving blockchain technology and digital assets, some of which have been quite controversial, and many of you will have heard, but from the point of view of our organization, we've got a single purpose, and that is to, well, actually two purposes. Build trust in society and solve important problems. And when we sat back and we looked at this industry, we decided that actually both of those things were very much needed in the digital assets and the blockchain space. And so we built a practice around that with the aim of taking all the expertise that we have as a large multinational accounting firm, whether it be in auditing, taxation, M&A deals, capital raising, IPOs, or whether it be in risk controls and governance, or even strategy consulting and legal and regulatory, and said, look, let's apply that knowledge to this new industry and see what happens. And I think we did that about 7 years ago. And it's been a bumpy ride, but I think what's been really, really positive in the last 2 years is the Hong Kong government has really put together a strategy for building Hong Kong's financial services and building Hong Kong out as a virtual asset hub for the world. And we're now starting to get really sensible regulation in Hong Kong. The government is really supporting innovation in the sector as well, and it's really starting to bear fruit. And I'd say this is one of the few areas at the moment in our firm where we're seeing really, really high growth. Because the economy is not great at the moment. This sector really is actually growing extremely quickly over the course of this year. So.
Thank you, Peter. Now move on to Alex.
Thanks, Eddy. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Wrobel. I'm head of cyber for Zurich, Asia. I lead the cyber insurance portfolio and drive our strategy to grow that portfolio and launch new products within it. For those that don't know, Zurich is a lead insurer of cyber insurance around the world. We provide cyber insurance to companies across all industries and all sizes, from SMEs to large corporate clients. If you're not familiar with cyber insurance, it is a great protection to have if your company does suffer a cyber attack. An unfortunate event but if you have a ransomware event or a data breach, cyber insurance will cover the financial losses that you might incur to restore systems, repair systems, restore data, as well as cover the income loss that you might suffer from business interruption. It can also cover regulatory investigations, reputational damage costs, and even third-party liability. So definitely relevant to the topic today with the smart economy and IoT. I think cyber insurance is ever more relevant and important.
Thank you, Alex. So thank you all of you today. And first we'll start with Jonathan. When we talk about the new driver of the smart economy, I think of the building information modeling, BIM. Is nowadays widely used in the construction industry. Would you please like to share more on your insight on this technology to visualize BIM for improving all your various projects?
Yes, let me share with you our BIM use and achievements. This slide shows you at the design stage or the initial stage, we can use BIM to help do spatial coordination and design review. This helps the production of drawings and 5D BIM model tied to payments, assessment, and certification. We can also use this to do some virtual reality and also fabrication. Next is at the planning stage. We can use BIM to do a 4D time phase construction planning. This also helps us to do the logistic planning, the tower can planning, and also some construction sequence by means of animation. Also, we can have a 3D model to see from different angles how we can do the job better. The first slide can show you the BIM use as well at the construction stage. We can have some mixed reality to see what we have planned in our drawings or the 3D model through the mixed reality assessment, we can see the conflicts and how we can solve the conflicts. This can also help us do the safety training through the VR. We can train a lot of workers through these tools, and this can relax a lot of our workload by means of traditional face-to-face training. This can also enhance the awareness of the workers through this training from time to time. This is one of our successful projects in Hong Kong. We work with Hong Kong youth for this MIC, Modular Integrated Construction Project, one of the pilot projects in Hong Kong using MIC. We have adopted a BIM so-called Square and some application software from production stage. We can monitor the production progress status through an so-called e-install software. And then later on, we can have real-time monitoring on the logistic and the modules doing transportation, a real-time monitoring through a e-Trans-Star. And then afterward, when we deliver the module to the site, we can use this install star to monitor the update of the installation progress. Through the BIM blockchain integrated solution, we can have overall control over the whole logistic and workflow. This is one of our successful projects for a mass center. We use our own developed 7D access manager to help monitor the chiller system. And this is one of our awards last year is a Hong Kong IE Building Service Division for excellent building. And we have demonstrated to them the BIM technology and tool we adopted can be put into practice through this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So, Ryan, you come from another traditional industry. Could you share the driving force for Vita Green to the digital transformation on a traditional Chinese medicinal supplement industry? And also, how can your business effectively manage and integrate the data from the various sources to gain your competitive insight and driving business transformation?
Thank you. Well, I mean, there's probably nothing more traditional than traditional Chinese medicine. That was meant to be a joke. Sorry. Well, in terms of, I think we talked to our colleagues a lot about our digital transformation. In terms of, 1 being Stone Age and 10 being SpaceX flying to the moon, we're probably more like 2.5 right now. I always feel like there's so much more work that we can do to make ourselves, more digitally native. So by the way, we're still open to suggestions. If you do have any suggestions, please come to me later. In terms of how we're using, digital or data to sort of transform or make more insightful decisions. For us, as a consumer products company, it comes down to how the user come in to interact with our business. So in the beginning, before they make a purchase, we have to create a product for them. So we actually use a lot of consumer insights, things like we will actually do qualitative analysis, as well as things like social listening. So a lot of marketing, sort of technology kind of stuff to gain insights that's not readily available to us. And then we have a product and then how we manufacturing, because we manufacture our own products as well. There's a lot of data points in our manufacturing and how we can optimize that. After which, we have to market our existing product to a group. So there's also a lot of stuff that we do, a lot of data points that we record. So we advertise on almost every single advertisable social channels out there. And we try to be as accurate as possible to our audience so that we don't waste too much money. So that in that part, we actually invest quite a bit of money to figure out how we can better utilize our advertising dollar. And after which our customer would buy our product or at least would interact with us in our shops or online, and then we track them. And after which they become, after they made a purchase, we will use all kind of, I think, data and or marketing automation software so that we can talk to them again, and hopefully they stay in the whole funnel and become a much loyal customer than if we don't interact with them. So I think it comes down to where all this data comes from, and we always feel like we're losing out on data that we're not capturing. But I think there's one job of capturing data, and the other is analyzing it. So I feel like a lot of times we're capturing a lot of data, but probably not spending enough time to analyze it. So we're also using some AI to help us analyze. In addition, of course, good old eyes and brains and just human power to try to figure out, cut through it all. But yeah, that's basically some of the things that we're trying to power data, digital into our business.
Right. Thank you, Ryan. So as you have mentioned that big data is a critical component of this transformation. And Peter, you are the expert in the crypto and blockchain space. And would you like to share your vision about how to make use of the big data and blockchain to help our industry? And also how to ensure the security behind it?
Okay, no, thank you very much. So, I mean, I think when we start to talk about big data and blockchain, I think it is important to just get it out there that, like, up until now, blockchains have not necessarily been fast enough to actually manage big data. Now, this is changing, and blockchains are getting a lot better, but people are also being quite innovative in how they are exploring how that technology can actually secure large data sets. But I think the question we should really be asking ourselves is, first of all, is like, why would we want big data blockchain? And I think really, fundamentally, this is because we need to take into account that blockchains have certain, I'll call them like blockchain superpowers, right? Where data on a blockchain is different from data in a normal database. And why is it different? It's different partly because it's immutable, because effectively the storage of the data is spread amongst multiple nodes. It's very difficult to change it once it's been recorded on that ledger. And that is very, very useful. Okay? Secondly, it can be more secure as well. So you talk about securing data. If data is stored in multiple different places, then it can also be more secure from going down, from manipulation and things like that. Now, whether it's more secure from a cyber point of view, I will leave to the cyber experts. But I think data is encrypted there, and you effectively have you've got good encryption, but key is it's also immutable. And it also means that you can, because blockchains are built and they work very formulaically on code, you can also build systems which are very predictable, where you can say, okay, we know how the system behaves now, and we can also look and basically we can be comfortable that the system will behave in a similar way in the future. And these are very different. This is all things that you can't say about normal databases which are controlled by a single party, because that party has the ability to change the way data works. And this is like a big concern, for example, in say social media at the moment, where the social media company does have full control over how the algorithm works, how they use the data. If it's on a blockchain and it's very predictable how it's going to work, you can see how smart contracts work, and if it is decentralized, then you can basically be comfortable in that. So when we say, like, why might these things be useful in a big data context, and I think clearly a lot of people have been talking about AI, and again, like I use AI as an example. AI needs to be trained on massive data sets. So, I mean, one potential like use, let's say, with sort of saying if we have the data set which is immutable, but also which where effectively you have this indelible record of everything that's happened before in the past and where it's come from, is if we can somehow combine AI and AI models with blockchains. And effectively, one of the big problems with AI has always been, well, you never know what the AI has done in order to actually come to the result it's got to. This causes us lots of problems with things like copyright law and things like that. Many of you might have seen, say, businesses like the New York Times got very upset because they sort of all these AI engines, they're sort of assuming the AI engine was training itself on their content, and so. I sort of certainly believe that if you can combine those two technologies, you can work out a way to say, okay, well, the AI has done this. We know that the AI has trained itself on this data set. And if we can create that link, we can then work out ways to deal with copyright issues because we can then look at these sort of new models for how content creators and people that are providing the information to enable these AI models to be trained can then get remunerated by the AI models for kind of like the outputs that they create. This is going to be really, really important in this future sort of as the internet develops, because at the moment those content creators get paid by having eyeballs look at their web pages, and the content will drive people to the web pages, and then they sell advertising, and that's how they make their money to create content. In a world of AI, where you have a chat GPT or something like that that's reading on this, there's no eyeballs to look at the adverts, right? And so we need a new way to fix how that economy of data works. I think that's sort of one example. I think many other examples in like industrial situations where we just want to have that kind of indelibility or that immutability of data, and I think it's really, really interesting. I think the other thing that is really powerful about blockchains, and particularly when we start to look at digital assets and combining it as well, is what you effectively are doing is you're taking things which were previously done very separately within an organization or within a financial ecosystem, and you're putting them together onto the same technology rails, right? And these three things, which I say is first of all, it's ownership and value, right? So blockchains, people will be familiar, it's one of the initial use cases of transferring value via the internet rather than through some other means. But the other thing that we're seeing is not just transfer of value, but also settlement of assets. So we have new sort of forms of payment, so that payments can be made to transfer value. And so you may have heard of things like stable coins, or the Hong Kong government is looking, the HKMA is looking at an e-Hong Kong dollar. These would be new ways in which payments can be made, right? And then finally, which links to the big data point as well, is that we have the ability to embed data with those assets. And those assets can be anything, but those assets can come with an indelible data set, which is connected to that asset. And when you put these three things together, you can start to create quite interesting new financial ecosystems, whether that's around capital markets and trading, or whether that's in things like the Internet of Things, or whether that's in creating new forms of securities and things like that. So I think this development will really lead to some very, very key developments across all of those areas, and I think we need to look. So I think I'm out of time, but
okay. Yep. Thank you, Peter. I'm sure blockchain will have more application in the due time. So Alex, so what's your view on leveraging technology and developing innovative cyber insurance products and solutions that cater to the needs for the business and industries for our panel speakers in this smart economy?
Thanks, Eddy. Yeah, cyber insurance, I would say, applies to all industries, as I mentioned earlier. So if you're using the internet and systems and software, like cyber insurance is a product for you. So definitely from construction to Chinese medicine and consulting, cyber insurance and our services would definitely apply. So Zurich as a company definitely leveraged technology across our whole organization, but I'll focus on 3 areas for now. Don't want to bore you with all the others, but primarily we use it in our underwriting and our risk assessment. So this is the first area where when a company applies for cyber insurance, Our underwriters will take data from them and ingest it. So anything from financial data to IT dependencies to your SaaS and software inventory of providers, as well as a bunch of answers to questions about your cybersecurity and your cyber controls. We will take all of that data, put it into our tool, and then we get insights from that tell the underwriters about that customer or that potential client's cyber maturity. So we can then focus on where that customer might be less cyber mature, where they might have room to improve, and where they are hitting the mark and exceeding expectations from an insurer's point of view. Then after that, we take all those insights and we can then tailor the cyber insurance coverage for that particular customer. The second area that I'll mention are our cyber resilience services or risk management tools. These are super powerful, I think, for customers that are looking to increase their cyber maturity and improve it. At Zurich, we offer a number of resilience services, including employee awareness training, phishing simulation exercises, penetration testing, vulnerability scans, virtual CISO. I mean, the list goes on, but there is one that I'd like to shout out because it's new, and our company is very excited about it. It's called Cyber Risk Quantification, and this particular tool really aids our customers. It helps them understand their cyber in real numbers. So it can give them, dollar values in terms of the predicted cyber scenarios that they might face. So it enables them to prioritize controls. Which cyber controls do we want to implement first and how quickly versus others? And it also can give customers a 360 view of their ecosystem. So it can give them a view of their third-party risk, which is super important right now. We see a lot of claims, from actual third parties, not necessarily from that client or that first party. To do all of this, we use our own expertise internally, of course, but a ton of data from historical losses in the industry, as well as threat intelligence. So it's a very powerful thing, and I think customers are really excited about it because it gives them a little more, like I said, numbers and a little more value when they need to go to their C-suite or their board and ask for investment in their cybersecurity. The last area I'll mention is claims. We're an insurance company. I can't sit here and not mention claims, and we definitely are leveraging technology and automation in our claims management process where appropriate, and it definitely has made the process simpler and more efficient, definitely expedited, which I think has really enhanced the customer experience. So in the future, technology and AI and all of it will continue to be a huge point that we will leverage in our processes. Cyber right now, we use technology to protect, to detect, and fight, cyber events and cyber attacks. So it's really key. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. So I think we have roughly about 5 minutes left, and can each panel members do a quick roundup with their key message to our audience today, and starting with Jonathan, please.
We are undergoing digital transformation in our construction industry, and happy to see that there are more and more smart building digital platforms and application software available in the market that will soon become affordable and scalable in the years ahead. As a business leader in engineering sector and construction industry, as well as the driver for the innovation technology, we have built so many well-known buildings in Hong Kong over the decades, and we should put more effort and resources in driving our people to to adopt BIM and its wide range of applications so that we can, in the future, we can build more world-class smart building for Hong Kong. Thank you.
Ryan, please.
Thank you. Again, we're open to suggestions. So if you do have any good ideas, we're always looking to make ourselves better. My email is brian.tse@vitagreen.com. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ron. I'll send you an email. Yeah. I think the main takeaway I just want people to say is if we're talking about data, and I'll throw in the blockchain plug, but if there is anything you're doing in your business where those blockchain superpowers that I mentioned, which is all around having immutability of data so that it can't change, or where if you need to be comfortable that what happens now, you can commit that it will continue to happen in the same way into the future, and think about how you can leverage those things, as well as implementing more efficient payments into, or micropayments into kind of transactions, or where you feel that there's benefits to kind of incorporating all those things together, then I'd say have a think about what you can do within blockchain, because it's not all about trading cryptocurrencies. There are many applications that I think you should really basically give consideration to. So I'll be on my summary. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Alex.
Thanks. I would start with, we're using AI and machine learning to really enhance our underwriting, like I said, and our risk assessment approach, but really that results in great predictive analytics where we can identify patterns, where we can predict future claims risk scenarios and share those with our customers and give them the insight so that they can learn more about their own, cyber maturity and cyber risk, but also improve, ultimately their cyber risk management. So I would just say, please take cyber security seriously, and if you're interested in cyber insurance, come see me.
Thank you all. I hope everyone got some insight from our leaders today, and thank you for the insight on their respective industries. And please give them a big round of applause for today's. And thank you for the sharing for us regarding the driver to the smart new economy. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, our speakers. So please kindly remain on stage and let's have a good photo together. All right, please look into our photographer in the center. All right, let's kindly stay for our official photographer. And then our speakers, please give a thumbs up to support our event. All right, please continue to stay for our photographer. All right, thank you very much. A big round of applause for our speakers one more time. Thank you.